The Sports Nightly Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Now for some sports news from this weekend. After an eventful Week 16 in the NFL, the New England Patriots, San Francisco 49ers, and Chicago Bears have all clinched a spot in the playoffs. Notable for the 49ers is they've struggled with injuries all season and are now heading to the postseason, while the Bears make their first postseason appearance in 5 years. Moving to Nebraska Athletics, both Nebraska basketball teams remain unbeaten at 12-0 after this weekend, with the men's team continuing their best start in program history by moving up in the AP rankings to 13th in the nation after their win over North Dakota. While the women's team beat Cal Baptist that same day, and they've boosted their AP stock up to 20th. A great season, sure to continue for both teams. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the Retirement Compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rebound, Barricade brings it up. Boy, he's impressive bringing the ball up before, spins away from two defenders in the paint, behind the back pass, layup up and good by Sam! Oh, what a highlight reel exchange that was down the floor. 71-51, Nebraska by 20. Here's Barricade, three ball on the way, got it! Triple-double! Barricade Buchengel, the terrific Turk.
Still dribbling his Prince with 4, with 3 down the left lane liner, driving layup on the rim and missing. Bojan the rebound, back up at the buzzer, it goes in, and it counts. Petra Bojan at the buzzer gives Nebraska the lead.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome in to Sports Nightly. Full 2 hours headed your way here tonight. I'm Jessica Coody. I'm actually on location. Shout out Josh for making this possible. So I am already on Christmas not really vacation, but I'm working from my parents' house in Sentinel, America, in Sentinel, Oklahoma for the next couple of days. Kyle is in studio, but tomorrow he will also be, I think, for broadcasting from your attic.
From my attic of my childhood home. So that'll be... The backdrop of that'll be interesting. I'll have to figure that out. There might be like a unkept bed in the background. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But no, the office. You said you're in your mom's office, right? So that looks nice. That's an interesting backdrop. But here I am in boring old studio.
What's wrong with my backdrop? You don't like books? You're not a book person?
I said the backdrop's good.
You said interesting.
Yeah, interesting can mean a lot of different things. It's different than, our backdrops, what we're used to. So it's different.
Yeah. So that's where I am. I'm in my mom's office in Sentinel. So this will be the setup. Actually, though, tomorrow I might change it up. I'll save that surprise for a little bit later. I'll tease that and maybe give you a sneak peek. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But again, lots to get into here today. We're going to hear another interview with one of the new assistant football coaches, Roy Manning, who has been brought in to coach in the defensive edges, was a part of Rob Orich's staff in San Diego. And has made the move, has already been here on campus. Kyle had a chance to chat with him. So that's coming up here in just a few minutes. Hour number 2, we'll hear from Emtt Johnson as he has played his last game in a Husker uniform, but he's going to be around. He's going to be at the bowl game, but he's already left. He's going to start training and make the move to the NFL. And, Kyle, Jeremiah and I talked about this on the last podcast, but, in terms of college and what it is now, and certainly he could probably make quite a bit of money in just the rev share and NIL and all of that. But for a running back and what he did last year, it would be hard to top that, right? And so, I mean, his stock is pretty high. We were talking to Ed Foley; they feel pretty confident that he's going to get drafted, and so it was a smart decision on his behalf, especially for a running back to chase a dream. And he set himself up after this year. It just would be hard to top what he did this year. Not saying he couldn't do it, but it would be hard to do.
Yeah, it'd be fun if for Nebraska fans, it'd be fun at least if we got a chance to see the opportunity to maybe top it. But no, I mean, that was the best season by a Nebraska running back. You have to go back to 2014. All the numbers that we saw from Emmett this year, rushing yards, yards per carry, consecutive games with 100-yard performances, 100-yard performances against Big Ten teams. It all goes back to 2014 and Amir Abdullah. This is the best running back season that we've had here in over a decade, about 11 years. And, it'd be great to see him go out there in the bowl game against a struggling run defense in Utah. That's the one sort of nick in the armor for the Utes defensively, and they'll have an opt-out, I know, on their defensive line. They have an big injury on their defensive line, so already bleeding of rushing defense. It gets a little worse, so it'll be interesting to see what Emmett could have done against Utah, but it's sort of how things go nowadays, especially when your market's not going to be as good as it will be. I mean, yeah, he could come back and have a better year for sure, but he's a first-team All-American, almost a unanimous first-team All-American, best running back in the Big Ten, won that award, voted on by the coaches and the media. Just one of those seasons that we'll continue to talk about for a long, long time, and he's earned this opportunity to go out there and earn that NFL paycheck and earn that NFL living. And I think whatever team drafts him, whatever round that may be, we can go back and forth on what his value may be. Could he be a third-round pick, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, wherever that may land? But I think whatever team gets him is going to get an all-around running back that can run the ball, and catch the ball out of the backfield. That was an element, Jess, of Emmett's game that we probably didn't talk about enough, his ability to be a receiving running back. I think he broke the single-season receptions mark for running back, not just once, but twice. He did it last year and then broke his record this year. He's second all-time in receptions from a running back. And remember, he hadn't been a full-time running back really up until this year. So he's done a lot of impressive things, and we're really happy to see what his next chapter is going to bring.
We'll talk more about that and who might be replacing him, what we think about that moving forward, and especially in the bowl game, too, because two guys that are very, very eager, three, I guess, for an opportunity. So we'll chat more about that. We'll hear that conversation with Emtt Johnson here coming up in hour number 2. But did want to kick off the show here tonight. Two more basketball wins for Husker women's basketball, Husker men's basketball, both moving up in the rankings. Nebraska women's basketball up to number 20. I believe it's the highest ranking in the Amy Williams era. And the men's basketball up to number 13. And so I was chatting with Josh before we went on the air about the potential of maybe this getting to a top 10 matchup with Michigan State. But either way, Nebraska men's basketball up to number 13, stay unbeaten. But it wasn't always pretty in the win over North Dakota. But they found a way to get it done. And Burke Buitengel triple-double, the 4th in school history, 2nd this season. And I thought it was cool seeing Rink Mass reaction to Burke getting that triple-double.
Yeah, really cool. You're right. It was an ugly first half. I'm looking at some of the shooting numbers, Jess, from yesterday in the first half. There were 9 of their first 32. They were about as ice cold as you could possibly be from 3. There were 2 of their first 18. Price Samford just couldn't seem to get anything going. Rink Mast wasn't necessarily in the flow of the offense. Sam Hoiberg only had 2 points going into half. You can go up and down. And, Berke had 2 points going into half. He had 5 rebounds and 2 assists. So most of what he did in the triple-double came in the second half. And, Fred said in his post-game press conference, he didn't necessarily go in there and yell and scream. It's a mature team that understands what they need to do. And how many times did we bring up at home in non-conference play getting off to slow starts? There it was again, the same type of performance in the first half we saw against USC Upstate and Winthrop in some of those early games this season was there again. North Dakota is a team that consistently, for whatever reason, has given Nebraska all sorts of issues. And that aspect that we talked about last week, too, of playing them right before going away for a few days for the holiday break. Where is your mental, if you were, for these players? So it was a bit of a slow start, but they kicked it into gear. How about the crowd last night, too? I mean, not many times in Nebraska basketball history for a bye game heading into a holiday are you going to see that place essentially sold out. I don't think it was officially announced as a sellout, but there weren't many seats that were empty. We're talking top tier. It was just about full. I think everybody's caught the bug now for Nebraska men's basketball. And then on the women's side, sort of a workmanlike effort once again. They have not had a game this year where they've scored under 80 points, which is pretty remarkable. I understand their schedule is going to go up in competition a little bit as we go, but they have been ultra consistent offensively, and I think they're raring to go for conference play.
Yeah, and to the point about the women, 87-56, what is it, this continues to be a storyline for them, though, but they had 4 players in double figures and then also had 4 players with 8 points. So just completely balanced. And I feel like it's a little bit of a similar conversation with the men and the women. Any given night, somebody could be your leading scorer. But I think just the unselfishness and just the balance of the women's basketball team, that they can go so deep to the bench and can rely on so many different people. If whatever defense a team tries to throw at that women's team, they're going to have somebody that can attack it in a different way. And so they're just super balanced. And as you mentioned, coming up next, so that was it for their non-conference schedule. It is full speed ahead into Big Ten conference play. And it's going to be a top 25 matchup the next time they take court. Number 17 USC on December 29th, 2:00. But as Juju Watkins not playing, she's out for the year, but still, that's still a very talented team, top 20 team. And so it's going to be a fun one there on December 29th. But I think that they have shown that, look, they can put it up, they can score it, and there's a lot of people that can score. They're just a really tough team to defend. Yeah,
and you look at the box scores. So Britt Prince only scored 11 the other day, and this was a close game up until, in the second half. It was like a 4 or so point game. Nebraska had a lead and then pulled away a little bit in the third quarter, and then things really got turned upside their head in that fourth quarter. Nebraska had a 32-point fourth quarter, but like you said, it was a really balanced offensive effort in a day where, point output-wise, efficiency-wise, it was good for Britt Prince, but some of the others stepped up. How about the season for Hake so far defensively as well? 10 points, 6 rebounds yesterday. Hargrove, 15 and 8, couple of boards shy of a double-double. But now, how about this stretch at Pinnacle Bank Arena starting on the 29th of December, and then you have January 2nd. I know you'll have the men's game sandwich in between there with New Hampshire, but you're going to have a couple of massive games with a couple of big crowds with USC on the women's side of the Michigan State on the men's side over a handful of days stretch. So it's, these are the days that Nebraska basketball fans have dreamed about, the opportunity to have meaningful basketball here to start conference play with a legitimate buzz, top 25 buzz for both teams.
Great stuff. All right, let's get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to hear the conversation. Kyle was able to sit down with the new defensive edges coach, Roy Manning, one of the new additions, came along with Coach Orich from San Diego State. So Kyle had a chance to get to know him a little bit and his approach to coaching the edges. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. All right, keep it here on Sports Nightly. Roy Manning up next.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slate It, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's holiday pro power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get a $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
If you believe the destination is the journey, you'll love exploring in the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek. It gives you the confidence of standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus a 180 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine. The 2026 Subaru Crosstrek. Love is out there. Find it in a Crosstrek. Visit Duteau Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at duteausubaru.com. Duteau Subaru, driven by you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slate it. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's holiday pro power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus zero down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Emtt, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Back here on Sports Nightly, Kyle Crooks with you, joined by a very special guest. We've talked a lot about the coaching changes here for Husker football, and specifically on the defensive side. With that, we welcome in studio for the first time. That is Roy Manning, coming here from San Diego State. And, of course, a lot of your journey we'll talk about. But first and foremost, Coach, welcome to Lincoln. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great, man. Just feel warm here, man. Just welcoming community, so it's been great.
It's not warm outside
not
compared to San Diego, but it's certainly warm feelings. And so how have the practices been? You've been here for a little bit now, just observing the guys. I know you're getting settled, but what's that introductory process been like with the players?
Yeah, it's been spirited, to say the least. It is Big Ten football at its finest. So smash mouth, a lot of contact, a lot of getting after it. It's refreshing. It's been really fun.
And, of course, you're a Michigan guy, played there. What's it like to be back in the Big Ten now?
Yeah, it's exciting. This is where my roots are, this brand of ball, and obviously in this conference, and it's been some years since I've been in it. But, I just feel right at home. I just feel like this is where God wants me. So,
talking with Roy Manning, and you'll be here coaching the defensive edge players. So here, I know Husker fans are looking to get after the quarterback a little bit more. San Diego State, you had a lot of success, and you've had a lot of success coaching in your career. What's the key to maybe taking that next step? Personnel, we don't necessarily know 100% of who's going to be here. That's just the nature of college football now. But what's sort of the key to maybe changing the culture here to get after the quarterback a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's just a mindset, mentality, belief. You know what I mean? I think just being here, quick observation in 4 or 5 days, there's no lack of talent here. I think it's just a matter of developing guys and putting them in a position so they can maximize on what they're good at and those talents. And belief is a huge thing in our game. And so I think just instilling that into our guys will help.
How about the culture at San Diego State? I mean, you guys got after the quarterback, and you're coaching with Rob Orich, who now is the defensive coordinator. You come over with him. What was it about that group that maybe you try to bring over to Nebraska?
Yeah, I think our first priority was stopping the run. I think, the more opportunities you get to put a team in third and long, the more true drop back situations you're going to be in for your guys to get after the quarterback. And so, we made it our aim to just kill the run on first and second down, and then it's time to party, kind of force people to play on our terms. And so a lot of those sacks became because we were able to get off the field on early downs and get to those third and mediums, third and longs, and third and extra longs. And our guys, they just pinned their ears back and went and got after it. So.
That's the phrase I was going to bring up. We hear that a lot. Pin your ears back, third and long, and get after it. Coach Orich, what's it like coaching with him? We had him in studio a couple days ago. We aired that interview a couple nights ago here on the show. What's he like? What's it like coaching with him?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, just hit it off with him a year ago and knew really, really quickly in that relationship that this dude is the real deal. He's a top-tier communicator. He knows how to connect people. He knows how to push and pull at the right times. And, I think he's one of the best teachers that I've ever been around at all levels. He knows exactly how to teach and get each technique exactly how he needs it to be. In a way that's understandable. It's not like 600 level football, to the players, and I think that's important, because those are the guys that's out there playing in real time when the bullets are firing, and so it's relaying the information to them in a way that they can execute and play fast and not slow them down. And I think he's like top tier at getting that done.
What would you say in terms of the defense? You mentioned the identity, stopping the run on first and second down. Yeah. What does the defense look like? I know we saw a lot of 4-2-5 base. What can we expect of the defense is going to look like on film from sort of just, I guess, the tactical perspective of football?
No doubt, we're a 4-down operation. And, we have different fronts and packages and things of that nature, but we want to be a 4-down operation. Living in kind of a quarters defense, so a commitment, obviously, to, having extra hats and making sure we do a great job of stopping the run game and trying to make teams one-dimensional. You know what I mean? I think I heard many, many years ago, from I think it was Brett Bielema talked about the offensive mindset of being able to run the ball and, making it very hard on teams if you're able to establish the run. And we're the antithesis of that. We want to stop the run and force people to be in situations where they have to pass the ball and they have to drop the quarterback back and again, play into our hands as we look at it. And so that's kind of who we are. And I think, above everything, we're going to be sound, and guys are going to know where they're fitting and why they're fitting there. And, we're going to be creative and be exotic, but we're not going to do that and not be sound and have guys, and put them in poor situations to fit the run. So,
chatting with Roy Manning, who's going to coach the edges here at Nebraska. Energy, what's your coaching, teaching style like can we expect? We had Jeep in here the other day, too. You could see his energy. I think we could see your energy as well. It's sort of a prerequisite to be a coach at this level. Is your energy high all the time? What's that like?
All the time. I talk to my group about chasing edges, right? We're trying to find those edges wherever they are, whether that's in the meeting room of how we can be better, how we can take a step there. If it's in warm-ups or walkthroughs or stretch lines, we're chasing edges like in everything we're doing. We understand that, there's a prerequisite to be here, but then we got to go, further than that. And so sometimes I use the acronym of climbing, committing to the process, laying it on the line every day, investing in the details, making an impact, and being the best version of ourselves. So we're climbing in everything we do, and that's on the field, that's off the field, that's in the classroom. And I think that you'll be successful if you kind of have that mindset on and off the field.
I think what's unique about you is obviously you have the NFL experience too, and you can go to a player and say, this is what it takes to get to that next level because I've done it. You have the proof to say that you've done it. What does it take when guys come up to you? Deshaun's going to put his name in there for the NFL draft, and maybe we could talk a little bit about him. But what does it take for these guys to take that next step to the next level?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, you have to have a good body of work. You know what I mean? You have to be realistic about, hey, this league is the best football players in the entire world. You know what I mean? So you got to have that mindset that you need to figure it out before you get to that step, or it's probably too late. And, there's always somebody better than you, right? So you have to have that workman-like approach to never be satisfied, to always believe there's more that you can be doing. There's always, again, edges to chase and inches to be looking for. And I think the thing, in my opinion, that separates college from the pros is just a mentality and mindset. This is grown men stuff now at that level. These are men, and they're married, and they got families and wives and kids, and it's a different mindset. It is work, but it's also someone's livelihood and their ability to put food on the table. And so it's a serious approach. And, some guys innately have that. Some guys develop that. And some guys figure it out. And so I think that's the biggest learning lesson that I try to instill on the guys is just the amount of sacrifice and preparation that you have to put in and understand that in the NFL, rent is due every day. Some days you show up and the guy's locker next to you is cleaned out. And, that's the reality of that league. They're only going to, ask you to do it so many times. You don't have all the mulligans and the bad days at that level. And so you have to be wired the right way.
Who are some of the guys maybe now in the NFL or in NFL past that you look at and say, that guy's special, that maybe you show some tape to the current guys and say, hey, this is what you should try to achieve. Watch this tape of this NFL guy. Who are some of the players that stand out there?
Yeah, no doubt. First one comes to mind is Max Crosby. Arguably the best motor in football, and he has all these different skill sets and length and, all the bag of pass rush moves. But when you turn on the tape, his effort is what sticks out and what kind of separates him in a league full of talented guys. So I'm always big on those high motor, high effort guys because I do think that's a separator at that level. And then, the other side of that is just the cerebral part of it, like the guys that commit. I think about like Luke Kuechly, or Ray Lewis calling out plays before the offense snaps the ball. Like there's a commitment level to be the best student of the game that you can be. There's some guys that play in that league not because of their athletic prowess, but because they're so dang smart and they anticipate plays and they know, the checks, they know the run game, they know the route progressions of the offense, and they're able to play faster. Yeah. And so it's kind of twofold, and so our guys that wake up and win the genetic lottery, I'm on those guys about, you have to be a great technician now because I know you're athletically ahead, but now you have to be a great technician. Or, hey, now you have to know the game better. And so I think we all can do more and find ways to just improve and maximize who we are.
Chatting with Roy Manning, who's coaching the Edges now here at Nebraska. You've had a chance we had Coach Roll in here, earlier last week. And for him, he had the hat on backwards and everything. Coach Matt Rule's a little bit different than head coach Matt Rule. So What your experience of him coaching the defensive tackles? You got Phil Simpson in there as well. What's that relationship been like?
It's been awesome, man. True ball coach. You know what I mean? I think that in my experience, that's what all head coaches miss, is just getting down in the weeds and actually coaching a position. And so seeing Coach Rule out there, man, in pre-practice, getting after guys on the sled with the hat to the back, I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I imagine that's who he is at his core, man. He's a ball coach, you know, that happens to be the head coach, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's exciting, and I think that sends a clear message to the guys, you know what I mean, that, hey, I'm in this thing with you. You know, we're going to go on this journey to greatness together. It's not just me being out in front telling guys, come on, it's me behind you, kind of servant leadership, right? Pushing you forward, like, hey, this is where we're going. I'm going to take these steps with you, you know what I mean? And so it's been super exhilarating just to see him and his coaching style just in the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, who wouldn't want to play for that guy? You know, if I'm a player, 18 years old, I want to play for that guy, you know what I mean? And so I'm excited, really excited.
Who are some of your coaching mentors along the way? I mean, you have a lot of stops, obviously Oklahoma, Washington State, USC. You know, Lincoln Riley's a name that pops out, just top of mind. But who are some of the guys that you've coached with that you consider mentors? Yeah,
I think first and foremost, you know, my dad. You know, my dad kind of coached me my whole life in every sport, and just kind of, you know, instilled in me early on just the mentality of like outworking people and you know, just doing more and just what it takes, you know what I mean? And not having to be necessarily the best, but having the mindset to be the best and to be, you know, just a worker. Same with my high school coach, Don Durrett, you know, same way, you know, just rinse do every day. I mean, just never taking it easy, no tier system of, you know, I played with a lot of, you know, NFL guys on my high school team, but he treated us all the same, and just, you know, you earn your keep and all those things. And then, you know, Lloyd Carr had a huge impact on, you know, just my development as a football player, but as a man. You know, some of those values of beginning with the end in mind, you know, the team, you know, just so many just life mantras to live by. I truly did learn in college under Coach Lloyd Carr. So he had probably the largest impact on me in that way. And then getting to coach, and I try to take something from every person I've worked for and worked under. You know, Butch Jones gave me my opportunity, you know, as a grad assistant, as a full-time coach, and he baptized me, man. You know, I learned very quick, you know, you ain't an NFL guy, you ain't some hot shot, like, you know, being a GA and doing whatever it takes and, you know, running errands and staying late and not leaving before my, you know, coaches left. And I remember just sitting around like, hey, man, it's 5, 6 o'clock. What else is there to do? And I didn't have a clue, you know, about, you know, what it really takes to stay in the office late and do more and find things to do, because there's always more, right? Mm-hmm. And then on to Brady Hoke, and you know, was a Big Ten guy who, you know, I knew as a player, you know, and then have an opportunity to work for him again. And so I've taken something from everyone, you know, Coach Leach, you know, rest in peace, you know, of doing it his way. And, you know, there's more than one ways to skin a cat, you know, and to have success. On to Chip Kelly, who I learned a lot from in a short amount of time. And then, you know, Lincoln Riley. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but I've been fortunate, you know, to be around great football minds and great people and people that have different philosophies on football and how they see the game, how they run their football program. And I truly try to embrace that. I've learned to be a good soldier wherever you are, be all in, be where your feet are, and, you know, just find ways to come up with solutions to help and enhance. And so I've been very lucky and blessed in my career, and so I appreciate each and every person that's given me an opportunity.
Final one, Coach, is as we welcome you to Lincoln. You're a 4-sport athlete in high school. You're in the Saginaw Sports Hall of Fame. Were you better at another sport? Was like baseball better for you than football, or was football always the number one sport for you in terms of what you were best at?
Yeah, by far, baseball.
Okay.
By far. That was the first
position?
Yeah, I played center field.
That's where they put the best guys.
Yeah.
Center field and
I had
shortstop.
great closing speed. I tell everybody I wasn't 240, 50 pounds back then, So I was lean, mean, and could cover a lot of ground out there. But no, that was the first sport my dad started me on. And I just loved everything about baseball. I just loved the craft. And, I wanted to be great at hitting and fielding and just, all of those different things. And that was my dream, really. You know what I mean? And then, as I grew and got older and, obviously got into all the different sports, I thought I was pretty good at all of them. And but if you ask me, I say, yeah, baseball is my best sport. And so I made a commitment, I think my last year to, just kind of focus more on football. Obviously, earned a scholarship to play at Michigan. And I said, hey, I'm gonna just put all my eggs in this basket, going into college, and ran some track and did some things. And, and that's why I am the way I am now. And, I love multiple sport athletes because I think you can learn some different transferable skills and kind of get a little more well-rounded as an athlete when you're asked to do different things in those different sports. So.
Yeah, it's great to learn more about you, and I'd love to see you take some hacks during the spring. Get out there to the baseball park, take some swings, and shag some fly balls. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. I know the fans are excited to have you. The players are excited to have you. I see you out at practice. I can see the energy here. I know the fans are going to love this interview. Roy Manning, coaching the Edges now here at Nebraska. Welcome to Lincoln, and we look forward to talking more.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's Roy Manning. We're back with more after this on the show.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the end of the year at Woodhouse Ford, and that means it's the perfect time to unwrap incredible savings across the entire Ford lineup. Whether you're searching for a tough, ready-for-anything truck or an SUV built to take your family into the new year with confidence, Woodhouse Ford has the right fit for every lifestyle. Browse our full selection, explore year-end specials, and start your next chapter behind the wheel of a new Ford. Visit us online or stop by one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations today.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Emtt, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln,
Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
Great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slate it. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus zero down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody on location here tonight in Sentinel, Oklahoma, my mom's office. So with the Christmas travel, we're both going to be on the road here, but Kyle able to be in studio tonight, but we'll be on the road tomorrow. But Kyle, great conversation with Coach Manning. He's a fascinating guy. And I had a perspective of working with him at Oklahoma while I was there, our paths crossed there. And for as much as what's crazy is Coach Orich and him didn't know each other until they joined and staff there at San Diego State. But I think it speaks volumes that he's one of the guys that Coach Orich wanted to bring with him here to Nebraska. But what I'm not sure that is being talked enough about with these new hires is, I think, on the recruiting trail, absolutely elite recruiters, which you got to have not just for getting the high school talent, but out of the transfer portal too. So another great addition to the staff here.
Yeah, and it's good timing because you're now going to head into the transfer portal period, and you're going to need Rob Orich and Roy Manning to go out there and try and get their types of guys. And we know one of the biggest areas that Nebraska defensively has to improve, that's in the pass rush. You look at San Diego State last year, so they had 32 total sacks as a defense, 3 guys with at least 6.5 sacks. Well, Nebraska could have used that this year. Their tops was Winery. I think Winery or McCullough, who had 2.5. It might have been Winery. And then you had 4 with at least 3.5 sacks. So you had pretty balanced pass rush for San Diego State. They were incredible in the red zone. You want to talk about another huge struggle, Jess, when it came to Nebraska this year? I was going through some of the red zone defensive numbers this year for Nebraska. It has not been good, especially in Big Ten play, and the percentages of touchdowns allowed in the red zone. San Diego State this past year was the best red zone defense in the country. And also, they were one of the better pass defenses as well. So you hope you can continue to have that, even what you're going to lose in that secondary, but with some of the young guys that you have coming back. Scoring defense, they were top 5 in the country. So the resume is there. Roy Manning is a guy that's going to coach him up. He's coached at this level. He's been a consistent Power 4 assistant, played at Michigan under Lloyd Carr. He knows what it takes to win at this level. I think he's going to be a really, really good addition in helping some of those other guys at that edge position, whether it's a Dylan Rogers, Willis McGahee, who probably is going to play in the bowl game. We did get news today that Maverick Noonan, after the bowl game, is going to head into the transfer portal. So that sort of takes a hit to that Jack linebacker room. But we'll see who they bring in. I'm sure that's got to be one of the top priorities. If you were to rank it, it's, edge rusher, somebody to get after the quarterback, a game wrecker has got to be near the top of that list.
Yeah, I think, and again, you always need those guys. You got to be good up front, both offensively and defensively. But it's funny just seeing when people are commenting or texting in to our text line or commenting on the chat. Seems to be the top of the list for everybody is getting defensive line or somebody there that you can add up front for defensively, offensively, and quarterback.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, we're going to start to get some answers here. And I think our shows are going to start to get even more interesting here over the next couple weeks after the bowl game. I think we're going to have a lot of fans reaching out as to what we're doing here, what we're doing there. There's a lot of smoke as to what certain guys that Nebraska might be interested in, but I wouldn't put all that much stock here on December 22nd to some of the rumors that may be out there. Let's wait a little bit until we get official word to see what Coach Rule and the staff has cooked up. We know that it's going to be a collaborative effort between Simpson, or I should say Stewart and Rule and Dana Holgerson and then Orch. So all these guys are going to work together to get the right personnel in here and budget it with the NIL and the rev share and all that. That's another aspect to this.
Again, the portal is not even officially open. Sometimes in January, Kyle, these shows are a little bit tougher to fill. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year.
No, I told you, I'm fascinated. This is I'm almost giddy. I know it's changed. College football has changed, and you can make the argument that it hasn't changed for the better. But as a fan, the way that you can completely change your roster in a single offseason with also, I made the point to ask Coach Rule, to ask Troy Dannon, do you guys have the finances necessary to go out there and maybe not win every single quote-unquote free agent, but be in the mix? And they say, yes, we have the finances to go up with the big boys in the Ohio States, the Texases, and the Texas Techs now. You could throw our name in that mix. That's what makes me even more eager to see what exactly they're going to do. But you can overhaul a roster in one off season. I guess that's the exciting part of what this wild, wild west is now with college football.
All right, got to get to a break. We are back to wrap up hour number 1 next. Keep it here.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
M Grills and Blazing Grill Works manufactures wood pellet and charcoal grills right here in Nebraska. M Grills Nebraska-made grills are fighting the battle against cheap disposable box store grills by focusing on quality and longevity. The all-American made parts and heavy steel construction means you can cook reliably all year long, year after year. Support Nebraska manufacturing and get out of the disposable grill game with a high-performance grill from M Grills. You can find them online at mgrills.com. That's M as in Memorial, grills.com. Proud supporter of Husker Athletics.
Shop Woodhouse Hyundai during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Receive 0.99% APR for 60 months or 2.99% APR for 72 months on the full lineup of 2026 Hyundai Palisades. Plus, rest easy with Hyundai Owner's Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at woodhousehyundai.com or woodhouseplacehyundai.com with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, 10% down or trade equity. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must finance through Hyundai Motor Finance. Stock number H260036. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
Here at Boot Barn, our objective is to build the perfect boot. We do take our time ensuring that every step is done correctly. For a boot to last you for a lifetime, you've got to properly build the boots. Hand craftsmanship is, in my opinion, the only way you're going to achieve that. We handcraft our boots. 160 people take a boot from start to finish. We have skilled artisans at every stage of the game. We've been handcrafting boots since the beginning here at Boot Barn, and we'll continue to do so.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of, and Blue believes in you.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
And welcome back. Final segment here, Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and got a lot coming up here in hour number 2 want to get to, but did want to spend these last few minutes here of hour number 1 shouting out Husker wrestling, and particularly Husker wrestling fans. Another attendance record on Sunday against Oklahoma State, setting the again attendance record there in the building there in John Cook Arena. Over 7,000 fans in attendance for that top 10 matchup with Oklahoma State. And unfortunately, the Huskers came up short, but it was there were some really exciting moments and great crowd on hand. I was actually up at the stadium, and about an hour and a half before, cars were already lining up to get into the arena. What a great atmosphere. And boy, they've got some big time matchups ahead. So I wouldn't be surprised if that record is broken again here this season.
Yeah, had a good match. Can I call it a bout? Would that make more sense? Yeah. Let's call it a bout.
Duel.
Duel.
I think the individual ones were matches, but the overall is a duel. Yeah.
Against North Carolina, really showed out on Friday night. And then obviously yesterday, 7,094 was the official attendance record that was set yesterday, not just volleyball setting attendance records. So some schools like to say they are the everything school, and some certainly have a case for that. But I think Nebraska doesn't use that moniker enough. I think we could throw that out there, because who's going to argue if somebody says Nebraska is an everything school? Not many schools in the country can have 7,094 on an NFL Sunday when there's a lot of other things going on, packing Devaney. I think that's special.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's very, very few that could say they would do that with one sport, let alone multiple sports. And not just that, you had both women's basketball in action and men's basketball that night, and they both had a great crowd. So yeah, it never ceases to amaze me. In fact, I told Roy Manning that when he was asking me about Nebraska. I was like, wait till you go to PBA or go to one of these sporting events. It's absolutely incredible. A little bit disappointing, I think, in the overall finish, but it wasn't. Again, I'm not ready to press the panic button. Completely trust Coach Manning, and moving forward, they've had some injuries. They're still trying to figure, I think, what they're going to do moving forward at 125. AJ Ferrari did not wrestle in the heavyweight match. So, and again, just getting guys off of injury. So this is not the time of the year you want to be at your best. It's continuing to build, and they've got a grind coming up here in Big Ten competition. So, you want to continue to peak, but I know it was a little bit of disappointing. They fully went in there wanting to compete and win that thing, but they'll continue to, work out some of the kinks, and they'll be a team that's right there in the conversation, not just with the Big Ten, but in the national conversation as well, once they move into this thing and continue to peak moving forward. All right, that's going to do it here for hour number 1. Hour number 2, up next, we're going to hear from Emtt Johnson, talk some more football, college football playoff. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get a $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The Sports Nightly Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Let's check in on some news in the sports world. About 15 minutes, the Indianapolis Colts and San Francisco 49ers will kick off for Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC. Led by the elder statesman Phillip Rivers, the Colts are the first team out of the playoffs in the AFC picture right now and are fighting to keep their season alive with a win over the Niners, who have already clinched a spot. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:15. Moving to some bowl game outcomes, only one happening today was the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, where the 6-6 apiece Washington State Cougars and Utah State Aggies faced off. Wazoo was the victor with a 34-21 final score. They had almost 630 yards of total offense. Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rebound, Berkay brings it up. Boy, he's impressive bringing the ball up before, spins away from two defenders in the paint, behind the back pass, layup up and good by Sam! Oh, what a highlight reel exchange that was down the floor.
71-51, Nebraska by 20.
Here's Berkay, 3-ball on the way, got it! Triple-double! Berkay Buchengel, the terrific Turk.
Still dribbling his sprints with 4, with 3 down the left lane. Liner driving layup on the rim and missing. Bojan the rebound, back up at the buzzer. It goes in, and it counts. Petra Bojan at the buzzer gives Nebraska the lead.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, again on location here tonight, as I have traveled down to Oklahoma to be with my family here for a few days before I'll head back and hop on the flight to Vegas for the bowl game. We'll be with the team and bringing you coverage all throughout the week and at practices. And so I'm here in Oklahoma in my mom's study/office, and Kyle is back in studio.
What kind of wallpaper we got there? I might steal the pattern.
It's pink flowers.
Okay, so I like it. Tell your mom I enjoy the wallpaper. I'm a fan.
Maybe she could decorate your office.
Somebody's got to. I stole a baseball glove so apparently we have all the supplies to field a youth baseball team here in the radio studio that we brought over from the old radio studio. But I stole some of the memorabilia here, and I put an extra Nebraska baseball glove in my office. So I've added to the overall look of my office. I have a volleyball helmet, glove, a lot of stuff in there.
A volleyball helmet?
No, I have a football helmet, a volleyball, an actual volleyball.
Oh, I thought you said volleyball
glove.
Helmet.
Do they have volleyball helmets?
No, that's why I was like, what? But I just think it's funny that you literally had nothing, and then you just sneakily keep taking stuff from the studio because and nobody's there.
People make the football helmet in the studio like a big deal. Like anybody looked twice at it. They didn't. It wasn't in the background of anything. And then
it was in the background of your shot.
No,
when I'm in
it was
scene.
not.
Yes,
Nobody cared that the football helmet was there. Not a soul. And then I move it to try and get some decor and some class in my office, and all of a sudden I got to hear about it. You know what? Nebraska football helmet belongs in my office, and that's where it's going to stay. If I have to start locking my office, I will.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. All right. And again, Kyle's in the studio. He will actually be in Jersey tomorrow night. So we'll go from East Coast to Midwest to cover Sports Nightly tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Josh is going to have his work cut out for him, making the whole piecing the whole thing together from New Jersey to Oklahoma to all these stations in Nebraska. How about that? The magic of technology.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what did you think of the college football playoff opening weekend?
Well, I did want to mention this. We had our pick segment on Friday. Josh, being the wizard that he is, came up with the question. I would have gone perfect had it not been for the question. So the over-under total for the playoff games was 199.5. And the total was sitting at 199, 4th and goal, half-yard line, James Madison, Oregon gets a stop, the under hits. I had the under in the questions. I think a few of us had the under, a few of us had the over, so we were pretty split. So it was an opportunity to take another step. So we had the under, and then we had James Madison trying to score for the over. And they plow it in. They get the over. A couple of garbage touchdowns to hit that over. That was like a knife in the heart for me, because I would have gone perfect for all the playoff picks. We have a bowl game today. But overall thoughts on the playoff, I think the conversation's going to continue. Should Tulane, should James Madison have been in that spot? And the argument is that some of these other teams have been blown out. Tennessee was blown out last year against Ohio State. TCU got blown out in one of these games. So my thing is that James Madison, as the 23rd or the 24th best team in the country, should they have been in that spot? Now, by the letter of the law, they should have, right? They're one of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions or whatever it may be. But should they have been in that spot when we could have had a Notre Dame, Oregon, or whatever argument you want to make? You can't tell me that Notre Dame, Oregon would not have been a better game. I'm all for the small guy, and this argument probably would tell you the contrary. But are we going for entertainment value, or are we going for participation trophies? I think that is a conversation that we need to continue to have moving forward. I think we might see even more alterations to that. If James Madison was the 13th best team in the country and they had a couple Power 4 wins that put them as the 13th best team in the country and they won the Sun Belt, then great. Yeah. But as the 24th best team in the country, it's everything we said sitting here on Friday happened. I thought Tulane was going to be closer. I thought they would have covered. I think it was like 21.5. I thought they were a better team than what I saw against Ole Miss, although the first 2 drives for Ole Miss, they just sliced their way into the end zone and game was essentially over. But everything we thought was going to happen happened in those 2 games. I think that's a conversation coming out of the weekend that's going to continue.
Yeah, and to your point about some of the smaller guys getting in, and maybe some requirements that besides just winning the group of 4 or the group of conferences, then you have to have something on your schedule outside of that. Like you got to have a big win and over a Power 4 team. It was not very entertaining. Like I didn't even want to watch those 2 games after half. Yeah,
it was brutal. You could see right away, especially the Oregon James Madison game, just the difference in the talent. And credit to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss had gone through so much with the coaching change, and how were they going to deal with everything? Didn't seem like it mattered to them at all. Some of the other games, we were sitting in studio when it was 17-0. Oklahoma.
And Camden was feeling pretty good. And he was
I said to everybody,
trash.
I said, it is very, very early. Be aware, be alert. And boy, was it ever. Credit to Alabama, credit to Kalen DeBoer. They found a way. Interesting matchup coming up. It's Alabama-Indiana, correct? In the Rose Bowl coming up. I think that's a fascinating game we can dive into more when we do our picks for the playoff coming up.
Actually, you're not going to be a part of it because... Sad. Yeah.
Well, my picks I will let my picks be known. I'm going to do my research this week actually helped. 2 weeks ago, my research made me 4-5 or whatever it was. So I think
I'm kind of glad Josh and I made the decision to go ahead and do picks on a night that you can't be there, so that we don't have to hear about your record over and over. I'm the only one that's allowed to brag about my record.
That's right. And you would hear it. You would absolutely hear it. Miami, Texas A&M.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, just terrible first half. Like, talk
defensive
about a boring
battle.
game.
This is what football used to be like, right? 13, was it 10-3 final score, whatever it was, and just defenses going back and forth, putrid quarterback play, Carson Beck, Marcel Reed. Remember when Marcel Reed was in the Heisman conversation? Remember when Carson Beck was in the Heisman conversation early in the year? Boy, that's changed. But 2 teams that are fantastic at the line of scrimmage, elite defenses. Credit to Miami and Malachi Toney, who's one of the unique unicorn athletes in the country, whether it's in screen game, lining him up, and they call it the Mally Cat, the Wildcat formation with him. I mean, he could just play every position. In the end, his touchdown was was the difference. Miami defensively, their offensive line is one thing. It's elite. A couple of NFL draft picks on that offensive line. But defensively, it's the real deal. That's why defense travels, as they say, especially in the postseason late in the year. You need to have an elite defense probably to win a college football playoff game, not just a national championship. For them to go on the road in what is a hostile environment in Kyle Field and hold Marcel Reed to what he did and hold the offense to what they did, I think Miami is an incredibly dangerous team.
Well, I did want to dive into, I sent you this graphic. I thought this was pretty fascinating. Sam Kahn Jr. of The Athletic did a breakdown of what the, I guess, percentage of contributions are for these college football playoff teams that are by recruits and by transfers. And it was absolutely, because you've got it all over the board. You've got a Georgia who is 90% by recruits and only 10% by transfers. And then, you got Indiana and Ole Miss at the bottom of it that's got 65 and 66% by contributions by transfers and only 33, 34 by recruits. And it's just interesting that, when you talk about doing an overhaul, and some of these teams have had to do that in the transfer portal to be in this kind of conversation. And then you look at a program like Georgia, who's absolutely done it by continuing to build from within, which I think Coach Rule wants to continue to do. They've got a lot of young talent that is starting to get older. It was just a fascinating breakdown to me to kind of see Ohio State 72% from recruits and 28% from transfers. And so, and you hear a lot of people saying, well, just go to the portal. But sometimes, when you talk about sustainability, look at Georgia, and they have certainly done it from building from within.
Yeah, Georgia and Ohio State, they're getting the top of the very top. So the expectation would be if Georgia and Ohio State aren't getting it done with their recruits, then I don't think anybody is, right? That's 5-star after 5-star. But this tells me that if you're going to go heavy into the transfer portal, you have to hit. Indiana's hit with most of their guys. Ole Miss is hit with most of their guys. You're bringing in guys that are really good fits to your system. The perfect mix is looking at this, in Miami that is closer to a 50-50 split between these two. I look at a lot of those SEC teams that are on this list, Jess, Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama, most of those are heavy. The percentages are heavy on the recruits. But if you're a team like Texas Tech that has the oil money or whatever it is to go out and really take what you want from the transfer portal, 65% of their production has come from, or starts have come from transfers. So if you're Texas Tech and you're going to pour a lot of money in it, you better make sure that you have the right evals and the right fits. And it seems like teams like Texas Tech, Indiana, Ole Miss, they've gone in the portal, but they've gotten the right guys. That's the difference.
I think it'll be interesting to see how this continues to trend. You know what I mean? Like, our teams, like you said, like Indiana, who's now made the college football playoff 2 years with these large contributions by transfers, large in part because they got a new coach and he brought a lot of those guys in with him. But, the Texas Tech who went out and had a bunch of contributions for, financially to be able to kind of do this. But then how does the other programs that have done it by their recruits, does that continue to stay the numbers for those types of programs? It just, as we continue to, with the rev share and the NIL era, how this continues to track, I will be fascinated by.
I would say it probably, if I had to guess, would skew more towards transfer percentage teams making the playoff, the higher starts by transfers. I just think it's, unless we have some sort of guardrails now where guys have to be under a contract for a few years before they hit the portal, I would assume that it's, you're still going to have, you have to go heavy into high school recruiting, right? That's the foundation of your team. But I would imagine that it's the transfer percentages in terms of starts on a team. I think that percentage will continue to go up if I had to guess.
It just, as of this, when we're looking at it right now, it's being done both ways. You know what I mean? So it's like, when people are saying, oh, this is the way to go. Well, not necessarily. There's other teams that are doing it from a different way. You know what I mean?
But if you're Georgia, if you're Ohio State's 28% starts by transfers, are those key impact starters like first round NFL draft picks? So of that percentage of starts, like, who are those guys in that maybe smaller percentage of transfers that are coming over? Who are some of those guys, right? Or are they first-round NFL draft picks that make a much bigger difference? So,
but to me, That number, though, when you look at 72-28, that is Ohio State, building from within and supplementing with the portal. To me, that is that number right there.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you are building from your high school recruiting and then you supplement. To me, that's about a perfect number to look at that. Same thing with like Oklahoma 68-32. Like, to me, like that is going all in and making sure you're getting in some of the top recruits in the country and building that, continuing to develop that talent. And then you supplement and try to hit in the portal with some of those, supplemental pieces.
In Indiana, that percentage might even out, right? Because Cignetti, like you had mentioned, some coaches take a new job and they're taking their entire roster. Like he took James Madison's roster and brought it over to Indiana. So that's why that percentage could be a little bit more skewed. But as he's there, signing that big contract extension, I could see that percentage start to even out a little bit more, where that's more starts by recruits, because you're going to get more high-level 4-star, 5-star guys that are going to now want to go to Indiana.
Yeah, exactly. Again, just a kind of an interesting number I saw over the weekend that and when we continue to talk about this in this day and age and all the transfer portal and the numbers that we're hearing thrown out, it'll be interesting to continue to track that and see if it levels out or if it stays like that. But anyways, all right, let's get to a break. Coming up next, I had a chance to chat with Emtt Johnson right before he left to go back home to Minnesota. He is going to be on the sideline cheering on the guys for the in the Vegas Bowl, but he just what a season he had. And I know he's a big favorite for us here in the Huskers Radio Network. Not just Kyle, myself, Greg loves Emmett as well. So very, very happy for him, but I had a chance to chat with him. And so we want to bring you a portion of the conversation next here on Sports Nightly.
Shop Woodhouse Mazda during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Receive 0.9% APR for 72 months, plus no payments for 90 days on all remaining in-stock 2025 Mazda CX-50s. Visit us in Bellevue or Omaha off 144th and Giles Road today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. When financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number MM250911. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get a $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Well, Emtt Johnson had one heck of a season, one for the record books, one for the history books, and he continued to do it all season long, despite every team trying to prevent him from doing that. And first team All-American, the accolades and the list of accomplishments that he's been able to do over the last year or two, just really, really special. And he's been a fantastic interview throughout his entire career. But I had a chance to catch up with him to talk about his decision to go chase his dreams in the NFL, how Nebraska prepared him for this, and lots of other great stuff. So here's my conversation with Emtt Johnson. So the last week we talked to you, you had not announced your decision yet. You decided to go to the NFL. And I know it's bittersweet around here. Obviously, a lot of people very excited for you and happy for you and going to be big fans of you wherever you go next. But also a little bitter because obviously people love you around here a lot. But yeah. What went into your decision? Take us through that and why you felt ready to take this next step.
Yeah, just a lot of prayer. I would say, after that last Iowa game, I talked about it with my family and things like that. But, I just had a feeling in my heart that, God wanted me to go chase my childhood dreams, which is playing in the NFL. Being here for 4 years, I feel like I have no regrets looking back on it. I feel like I left everything on the field, everything in the practice room, in the classroom. And so I just felt like it was the right time for me to move on and play in the NFL. Obviously, it's tough leaving teammates and coaches and things like that. But with the season I had, I feel like it was just my best interest to leave. Well, some people captured you leaving the field in that game against Iowa, and you were pretty emotional. What were the emotions you were feeling walking off the field in Memorial? Yeah, nobody knew, but I knew that was my last game, possibly on that field. And, it just meant a lot. Obviously, losing that game hurt, too, as well. I kind of wanted to go out as a winner, especially for the seniors who haven't beat Iowa, or some of the other guys who haven't beat Iowa. I just wanted to win that game, so it was just like passion for the game of football, and also realizing that it could be my last game on that field too as well. So throughout the process of this season, you were always so laser focused on next game. And so I'm sure now, have you had a time to reflect on what you were able to accomplish this season? Yeah. The other day I was talking to my brother. He was kind of just like, we're going through some of the awards, and I'm just like, I didn't know there's that many awards in college football, but I was so focused and so into it during the season that I wasn't really understanding, the history and things that I was doing. And so looking back on it now, it looks pretty cool to see some of the things that I achieved, but I'm always going to be hungry for more because I know that, I know what it feels like to not have anything, to not be playing, not be in the spotlight. So I'm always going to be hungry to want more.
If you could boil down what you were able to accomplish in 3 big things, what would those 3 things be?
Hey, that's a good question. I'll say dominance, consistency, and last one, dominance, consistency, and heart. I think those 3 things explain the type of season that I had. Just because, obviously dominance in terms of like performance, consistency, and like showing up every single day, being the same person, being a great teammate in practice, and all my teammates can tell you that. I think I showed up every single day. And then heart, I feel like I gave everything I had to the program. Every time I was out there on the field, I had heart, and you can see that through my game and how hard I run. And so those 3 things I think those 3 things are the best way to describe my season.
I love it. Perfectly described. You always believed in yourself. There's no doubt about that. It took, a little bit for everybody else to see what you always believed in yourself. But that being said, you're not the same player that you were when you stepped on campus here. So when you look back at a season that hadn't been done here in a long time and all these things that you were able to accomplish that a lot of people have not been able to do, where do you attribute maybe the growth and kind of the biggest jump, I guess, that allowed for you to be the kind of player you were this year?
I'll just say continue stacking days. I think I was kind of taking it one day at a time. Obviously, I got a lot bigger, faster, and stronger throughout the years, but every single day I was dedicated to having a deliberate practice and just focusing on one thing to get better at. I'd always ask Coach EJ or whoever was coaching me for my weakness or whatever they thought I was doing wrong, and just kind of learn from that and just try to perfect everything. I didn't want to just be a one-dimensional running back. I wanted to be every single down back. Something Coach Brown told me about was just treating my life like a sponge, which is just like you get into it or you get out of it what you put into it. And it's like if you pour orange juice into a sponge, apple juice isn't going to come out. It's going to be orange juice because that's what you put in. So understanding that the hard work that goes into the training of my everyday life is going to pay off at some point, but just to continue stacking days and just keep getting better, I think that's what helped me lead to this position, because when I wasn't playing, I think the times that I was going hard, it was easy to just quit and be like, okay, I'm not going to go hard today. I'm not going to play in the game. But those days that I continued to keep going hard and grinding, those are the days that separated me from everybody else. So when I got my opportunity, I was ready. And not just ready, I was ready to dominate.
It truly is a testament to the patience that it might take to reap the kind of benefits that you were able to do this year. It was a long process, and you have to stick to it.
Yeah.
It's just, a lot of people don't want to stick to it that long, I guess.
Yeah, it was tough, man. A lot of days. Like I said, I read my journal a lot of days and just writing down. I was counting the days down to when I would get my first handoff. And it was 475 days. I always write down and go back to that page in my book and just look at, all the hard work paying off. It meant a lot in the long run, but there's some days where I'm just like, dang, am I going to get my chance? But just kept faith in God. I had a good family around me, support system, and that helped me be successful.
Dana Holgorsen, there's no doubt he thinks the world of you. He's talked a lot about the conversations that you guys had this time a year ago. Yeah. Can you give us some insight to that? And, what led you to believe wholeheartedly in Dana Holgorsen and wanting to, again, see what he could do with your skill set?
Yeah, when he first came in, it was kind of difficult because he's kind of hard to read. When I first met him, I was like, he's super nonchalant. He doesn't really express his emotions that much. When I first met him, he was just calling me 21. He didn't really know my name like that. And as we continued to keep going through days of practice, he would just notice my work and how hard I worked in practice, and he would bring that up all the time. And he gave me the opportunity, obviously, to go in there, start, and just play at a high level and play freely. So I'm extremely blessed to have Dana as my coordinator here. Like I said, he changed the trajectory of my career. He's somebody who I can text and call up anytime. That USC game was our first game together, and I remember going through that same play that I scored on during the week of practice, and I told him I was gonna score in the game. He's like, "Damn right, you're gonna score." He was just giving me that confidence that you're gonna go out there and play well. And then obviously thinking about leaving was tough, and I had some talks with him and stuff like that. He was just telling me I know you're planning on entering the portal, whatever like that, but if you enter, I'm still going to recruit you. And so I was just like, okay, so maybe maybe he really, really, really wants me here. And so that's why I took time to pray about it with my family. And, God led me to come back here, and I knew it was the right decision just because of my faith. And people around me, my family, they told me, things that, I can't take for grateful around here, which is my family, away from home, like the people that are around here, the facility, fans. There's a lot of great things that are here. And so, Dana was just that aspect that I needed to, just give me the confidence to perform at a high level and come back and dominate the way I did this year.
What does EJ Barthel mean to you, and has he met you throughout this process?
Yeah, he means a lot. EJ seen, every step of my career, really. When he first came in, they didn't know anything about my game. They didn't know, how good of a player I was. And I would always just tell him, my coach, whenever you give me an opportunity, I'll be ready. He told me a story about one of his running backs that were, fourth or fifth on the depth chart. It might have been at UConn or something, but and he said about the middle of the season they were starting. And so that was a story he told me going into camp because I was, obviously hungry to play. And it was my redshirt freshman year. I think eventually in the season I ended up playing. But it was just kind of crazy to see that happen. And then also he's just been a great guy off the field too. Coach EJ has a lot of passion. He's been through a lot in his life. And he makes sure that his running backs are better men, not just good players on the field. And he also makes sure that on the field you know your stuff because he's not putting you out there if you don't know what to do. And that's something I give credit to him for because not a lot of coaches will do that and sacrifice their time. I know he probably doesn't like me sharing this, but, he doesn't have wife, kids, or anything. So, he treats us like his kids, basically. But, yeah, he's somebody who, I text every single day. Now we're at the point where he used to be able to coach me super, super hard and, be that mentor to me. Now I understand the game more, so now we're just kind of like homies, and he kind of just gives me points on little things. But he's definitely prepared me for the next level, and I know in terms of football, my IQ level is extremely high because of him. And, I know when it comes to the next level of NFL, I'll be ready for whatever they throw at me just because he's prepared me mentally and physically to go out there and dominate. Yeah.
Coach Rule has used you a lot here as, an example of, hey, if you do what we ask, it works. Why does it work?
Yeah, it's just the process aspect of it. Winning is hard. Doing this at a high level, playing football at a high level is hard. So what he preaches is just continuing to stack days and believe in the process, believe in seeing something greater ahead. And it's hard to do that when you're in it. It's hard to do that when you're training every single day, working really, really hard. You might wonder why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But the process, it pays off, and that's something that we've been teaching here for a while. This year, I would say a bigger jump from last year to this year was. When we won our sixth game, it wasn't everybody wasn't oh my God, we're going to a bowl game. We had greater plans ahead, and that's just comes from us believing in the process every single day. And I'm really excited, obviously, for the program moving forward. I'm hoping that everybody can buy into that because we want to be in the playoffs and do a lot of things next year, and I'm going to be helping them every step of the way too.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so towards the end of the year, everybody knew what Nebraska was going to do. They're going to hand the ball off to 21. Why were you able to continue to still have the dominant performances that you had when everybody was doing everything they could to take you out of it?
Yeah, one, I would just say my mentality, and two, I would just say my IQ for the game of football. And like I just said about Coach EJ, he prepared me really, really well to go out there and just me understanding that I'm not just out there and running the ball. I'm out there reading fronts. I'm out there understanding who's blocking who. I was kind of playing mind games with a lot of defenders at some points in the season. And so even though they knew I was getting the ball, I was smarter, than them. And also I was more prepared. So when I was on the field, I felt like I could do anything just because I was so much more prepared. I know I put the work in. So the football part was the easy part for me, but it was funny and cool seeing coaches every week say oh yeah, we're gonna try to shut down 21. We're gonna stack the box. We're gonna do this, and none of it worked. Obviously, I knew it wasn't gonna work, but it was just funny. Knowing that they were game planning to stop me because in high school it was the same way, kind of teams knew I was getting the ball and they still couldn't stop it. And I give credit to my O-line too as well because everybody knows I'm going to get the ball, but at the end of the day we got to go out there and play, and it was dominant for all season.
I love that. So I just recently talked to Jamal Roll, the next generation of a Husker running back coming in, and he mentioned you and his recruitment process and how much it meant to him to be able to have a conversation with you and pick your brain. And you're not going to sell anybody on something that you don't believe. You're genuine in that way. So can you just maybe give us an insight into what your pitch was and why you full-heartedly believe that a guy like Jamal Roll could come here and succeed?
Yeah, I kind of just told him what it means to be a Husker, not just on the field but off the field. I told him, coming here, it's a brotherhood. It's something that, like, you'll look back on it 10 years from now. You'll be able to laugh with your friends and, like, probably be at their wedding someday. It's not just committing to the university for football. It's committing to the university for the people here, for the facilities, for the classroom. There's a lot of things that play into it, and I kind of just told him that, like, coming into college, you just got to be hungry. If things not going your way, you kind of just got to keep grinding. Let my story be an example to you coming in as a true freshman. And he really took that. He loved the advice that I gave him because his family and my family kind of like similar in that aspect of they come from a humble background. And I talked to his dad, talked to his mom. They all loved my advice, and I know I can give him the advice because I've been through it. It's different when you've been through it, and being able to give back to somebody like that means a lot to me. And so whether if it's him or any other recruit, I'll be willing to do that just because I've been through it. I know what it takes, and also, like, I want them to be successful. I want every running back or anybody that comes through here to be successful. So those are the lessons I've told them, and I'm pretty sure I'll be in contact with them moving forward as well.
I was going to ask you, you probably knew towards the end of the season what your future might look like. You didn't have to continue to contribute to the recruiting efforts. Why was that still important for you?
Yeah, this is a special place, and I want special people and special recruits here. So any way I can help, I'll be willing to do that. I know when Rocco hit the portal like last year, right away I texted him. I'm like, oh yeah, you got to come here. I asked what he's looking for. He said a brotherhood. I was like, that's exactly what Nebraska is. So if there's any way I can help recruit here, I even told Coach Rule, like, I'll be more than willing to do that just because I know it's a special place, and I'll be able to give people, great advice and tell them about how it is here.
Not just football, but, I mean, you've been at every basketball game, I feel like, this season, both men's and women's. You're everywhere. You're all in the community. How much does this place mean to you, even just outside of the football team?
Yeah, this place means a lot to me, and I don't want to just be remembered for, Emmt Johnson on the football field. I want to be remembered for Emtt Johnson as a person. And so being in the community is something that, like, I've always done since I was a younger kid, and kind of just how I was raised with my family and things like that. So giving back in terms of just going out and supporting, whether if it's girls basketball, boys basketball, just any sport. The hoop tour me and Dylan did, it was kind of cool too. It kind of set things off. I remember my first game I went to, and it was just me, and I kind of brought him along with me the second time. But just giving back to the community means a lot. And also I love watching the game of basketball because I played it for a long time, and I played through my senior year as well too. But I just love supporting, other teams and things like that because they support us too. But just want to be able to leave my mark here in that aspect of just giving back and supporting as much as I can and being an inspiration to kids too. I know a lot of kids had a dream, even if it's football or not, but just in life, and I want to be able to be that person they can look up to.
I think, too, seeing you interact, too, you genuinely enjoy interacting with people and talking to people, getting to know people. It's not just like, hey, I'm here to take some photos. Like, you actually genuinely enjoy spending time with the people here in Lincoln.
Yeah, I do. And like I said, that just comes from my family, my parents. They kind of just raised me that way. And I want people to know, like, it's kind of crazy when little kids are, like, shy to ask me for a picture. I kind of start a conversation with them just because I just want them to know I'm a normal human just like them. And so, I've had a lot of cool conversations with kids, gotten to know people's names, different things like that. And I know when I was a kid, I used to look up to people too. So I know some of those kids are going to remember that for the rest of their lives. And, I'm just glad to be in the position to help them.
Mekhi Nelson, Isaiah Mosey, Quentin Ives, how ready are those guys to burst onto the scene here?
Yeah, they're extremely ready, and I'll say just because I know who their coach is, Coach EJ, and I told you he's not going to put them on the field or he's not going to give them a chance if they don't know what they're doing out there. And so I know he's probably coaching them extremely hard right now. He's probably yelling in practice like, no, Emmett, no problem. He's probably yelling all that type of stuff right now because I know his mentality, and it's not just like, obviously I'm gone, but he wants to keep that, pipeline going in the running back room. And, yeah, the sky's the limit for those guys. I'm going to be a mentor to them as much as I can to moving forward, but I'm excited for them and their future careers. And, I hope they can continue to grind and just keep getting better and being better men on and off the field.
Again, what a great human being. Just so fortunate to be able to have covered his career here. Can't wait. I'm going to be a fan of no matter where he goes, and we'll root for him for the rest of his football career. You can listen to that full conversation with Emtt Johnson out now on our podcast platforms, on our YouTube channel as well. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Kyle rejoins me next.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Contracting your premium diesel just got energized at Central Valley Ag. With CVA's Refer a Friend program, you and a friend can each earn $100 back. Refer a friend, that friend contracts a minimum of 1,000 gallons of premium diesel, and you both get $100 credit. Power your performance with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and Roadmaster XL. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Wrap Up the Year sales event. Lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for $299 per month, backed by America's best-in-class full-size truck powertrain limited warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. 42 months per 5,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra for well-qualified returning lessees. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number BC 250821. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Just got a couple segments here left tonight. Kyle, just again, I know you've been a big fan of Emmett since you've gotten here and covered his career, but I think beyond just he's going to continue to be around, and he loves this place so much. He will be one of those former players that I think we'll get to see a lot coming back and visiting Lincoln. But just his story alone and what he was able to do, we've heard Coach Rule mention it a lot. But even going back to when I talked to Jamal Rule on signing day and some of these recruits that they continue to target, they'll be able to use Emmett as a recruiting tool moving forward, because he is the definition of the process works if you stick to it.
Yeah, he could have taken the easy way out, gone somewhere else, started new, but he wanted to stay here and understanding that he could be a bigger asset here at Nebraska. Being around Emmett, just talking to him person to person and seeing his personality, one his work ethic is elite. You could see that in his development. You see how he goes about things at practice, how he's mentored the younger running backs, whether it's Mackay or Isaiah. Now they'll get their turn in the bowl game, but what an example he's set for those two guys. I think that's the lasting impression that Emmett's going to make. But all these different sporting events, whether it's the other Nebraska teams or the high school games that he's been at, he's just loved the community. He's embraced every aspect about being a star here as a Husker, but he's also backed it up on the field. You know, that final performance, 217 yards against Iowa, is one that, forget about the end result of the game, was an incredible individual effort and one that we're never going to forget.
All right, let's go ahead and get to a break. We're back to wrap up the show next.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
M Grills and Blazing Grill Works manufactures wood pellet and charcoal grills right here in Nebraska. M Grills Nebraska-made grills are fighting the battle against cheap disposable box store grills by focusing on quality and longevity. The All-American made parts and heavy steel construction means you can cook reliably all year long, year after year. Support Nebraska manufacturing and get out of the disposable grill game with a high-performance grill from M Grills. You can find them online at mgrills.com. That's M as in Memorial, grills.com. Proud supporter of Husker Athletics.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody and joined by Kyle Crooks. Just a few minutes left. What a fun show and technology. Thanks to Josh making it work. I am actually in Sentinel, Oklahoma. I sent you guys a video that my mom has a piano and maybe she could teach me some Christmas songs that we could use as the bumper music tomorrow going out to breaks or coming back from breaks.
So you're promising a live performance on the air tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
I don't want you backtracking from this. We want a live performance. The chat, everybody wants a live performance.
Okay, I will see what I could do. We'll make it work. Do we have any requests? Not that I can guarantee that I can play it.
Jingle bells. Let's go
favorite?
simple. Let's go Jingle Bells.
All right. What's another favorite Christmas song, Kyle? You want me to play Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer since we were talking about it the other day?
Yeah, we were. I want to see if Josh can name all the reindeer off the top of his head. You were pretty close last week, Jess. I'm trying to think of what's the one Mariah Carey sings. Or the one.
I can't do that one.
What's the one with the Beatles? This is Christmas. Da da. What have you done? Is that John Lennon?
Like I said, you can give me the request. There's no guarantee I will take the request, but
you're not taking any of these requests. I know you're not taking any of these requests. You're just having me throw out songs. Jingle Bells is something that I think is learnable in 24 hours. You have the talent to play the piano. You can play the piano. You are a musician. People that don't know, you do have musical chops. So something simple where you could go on YouTube and say, tell me how to play Jingle Bells, and boom, 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 boom. And our fans are eagerly awaiting.
Well, spoiler alert, I already learned Jingle Bells. So maybe I was going to maybe
I didn't want them to know that. I wanted people to be impressed when you played it tomorot.
Well, I'm not going to tease it like I can actually play it.
White lie never hurt.
Anyways, then but again, text in your request. Let me know in the chat. I'll see what I can do. No promises, but I can at least tell you that I can maybe play Jingle Bells tomorrow, and we will see if we can make that work.
Now it's maybe play Jingle Bells. No, you can play Jingle Bells.
413-2400.
Jingle Bells.